All right, what up, y'all? How y'all feeling? Say defund the police.
Defund the police.
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 Say tear down Babylon, black people are the bar, we ready. Hey, fuck I say. Hey, tear down Babylon, black people are the bar, we ready. Hey, fuck I say. Hey, tear down Babylon, black people are the bar, we ready. Hey, fuck I say. Hey, say fuck the police. Say fuck the police. Say fuck the police. Say fuck the police. Say fuck the sheriff. Say fuck the sheriff. Put a little emphasis on that F. Say fuck the sheriff. Say fuck the sheriff. Say fuck them green ass suits. I'm bitter because green is my favorite color. Black is my favorite color. So, here's the thing. I just wanted to remind y'all while we out here. You know, say Jackie Lacey must go.
Jackie Lacey must go.
Jackie Lacey will go.
Jackie Lacey will go.
Say Jackie Lacey must go.
Jackie Lacey must go.
Say Jackie Lacey will go.
Jackie Lacey will go.
There's so many things to distract us from the actual goal. There's so many things in life when you're fighting, when you're living, that distract us from the actual goal at hand of liberation. Our goal should always be liberation. If you don't know your purpose in life, I'm about to tell you what it is. It ain't your career. It ain't what you love to do. That's what you're passionate about. That's what we call your passion. If that's what you want to call it, that's what it is. Your purpose in life is to seek out the most vulnerable and work to liberate them. Enter every situation and leave it better than you found it. The way you do that is seeking out the most vulnerable and working with whatever privilege you have to liberate them. That is obviously not what these motherfuckers are doing. They done surrounded the most vulnerable, wasted all these fucking tax dollars. As y'all know, y'all see all them damn compartments on their vests. Each one of them things cost a lot of money in there. Whatever they put in there to kill us, to abuse us, cost a lot of money. Oppression costs a lot of money. Our money. Them big ass guns they got, that yellow ass gun he got, they cost a lot of money. Them cars cost a lot of money. The people in them suits cost a lot of money. You could hire 3 community care workers for what you pay one of them motherfuckers. That's why we say defund the police.
Defund the police.
Say defund the police.
Defund the police.
We can have the mental health care infrastructure we want. We can have housing for all. We can have school with the proper education for everyone. We can have counselors and nurses in those schools. We can have the proper health care we need. The problem is our resources are tied up in this bullshit that was actually made for our oppression. Now I want to remind y'all the purpose of white supremacy, the purpose of oppression. The origin of whiteness was formed to divide. was formed for oppression. There were a bunch of Europeans came here, all different tribes, ain't none of them like each other. The English ain't like the French, French ain't like the Germans, Germans ain't like the Dutch, Dutch ain't like the Spanish. They were all fighting each other. Got here, started the slave trade, capitalism. Fuck capitalism. Fuck capitalism. And formed whiteness. There were a bunch of elite, not a bunch, a few elite white folks that could afford land and slaves, and they turned all the poor white folks into a body that was only unified on one thing. They all hated each other, but they were unified on one thing: the oppression of black folks, the theft of indigenous land. They built systems around that concept, and this is what they look like. Hall of Justice, bullshit ass name that don't mean nothing. Them green motherfucking suits. Them bullshit ass cars that they use to block off all the intersections so we don't gather. They formed systems to protect those who were enslaving black folks, torturing them, enacting trauma, stealing indigenous land, acts of genocide on indigenous people. And they're still doing it today. That is the seed, the origin of those systems. And they are still used to divide us today. White supremacy is really fucking effective. It's present when no white people are around. They try to teach us to hate ourselves, to hate the color of our skin, to hate our noses and our features, to hate our culture. And then they try to appropriate it and turn it into something that they invented. Bullshit. Our ancestors are with us here right now. And if you listen to them, not all the ancestors, fuck some of these ancestors. All right? I'm talking about liberators. All right? Our liberator ancestors are with us right now, and they are whispering to us to keep our eye on the prize. These oppressive mechanisms of xenophobia and transphobia and misogyny and sexism that are pervasive in all of our communities are used to divide us and keep us from coalition building. Make us hate each other so that we do not collectively liberate. All of our liberation is linked together. Never forget that. So we have to reach down as the Combahee River Collective, queer black women taught us, liberators. You have to reach down to the intersection of all of those layers of oppression in order to liberate that one person that is most intersectionally oppressed. I don't care if it's just one. You have to. If you do that, you inevitably dismantle all other layers of oppression. It does not work from the top down. It does not work the other way around. You have to consider who is the most vulnerable, who is most intersectionally oppressed. If you don't, you're doing it the wrong way. That's what we mean when we say all Black lives matter. 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 If you're not doing it that way, you are doing it wrong. And in working with mental health and working in prisons and working with people that I don't necessarily like, I have found you don't have to like people to work to liberate them. I'm not asking y'all to like each other. I'm not saying everybody's likable. Some of us are not. And I guarantee you, you get on my wrong side, I am not a likable fucking person. That's why I stand here and I say, fuck the sheriff. Fuck the sheriff! That's not a likable thing. All right? We don't have to like people, though, to work to liberate them, because guess what? Any black person on that force, any brown person on that force, by abolishing that fucking system, they benefit too. Now, don't get me wrong, they fucked up my people, they need to be held accountable. So I'm not saying no accountability, but even with that accountability, they benefit from this movement. All of our liberation is linked together. Don't forget that. When you're fighting and you learn that you don't like somebody, don't work with them. But we have to have the same goal. Keep your eyes on the prize. Don't let that shit distract us. Don't let these conspiracy theories and shit distract us. Keep your eye on the goal. The goal is liberation. Fuck Donald Trump. Raise your fist and make it pump. Everybody say, fuck Donald Trump. Say, raise your fist and make it pump. Everybody say, fuck Donald Trump. Said everybody say, fuck Donald Trump. Said everybody say, fuck Donald Trump. Say, raise your fist and make it pump. Everybody say, fuck Donald Trump. I'm gonna say one more thing that I always say, and then I'm gonna get the fuck up off this stage. I'm gonna tell them about the tree. I know Baba Keely listen. Baba Keely birthday. Say happy birthday, Baba Keely. Happy birthday, Baba Keely. Say happy birthday, Baba Keely. Happy birthday, Baba Keely. He said, don't get off that stage without talking about the motherfucking tree. A bad seed, we learned this in tree. Bad seed produces a bad tree, produces bad fruit. A good seed produces a good tree, produces good fruit. The seed of policing is slave catching. It produced a bad tree, and it has a lot of fucked up fruit. That's all the videos that you're seeing of us being brutalized and killed and murdered by them. That is the bad fruit. The seed of prisons is slavery, continued under the guise of the 13th Amendment. So when we're talking about abolition, know that we're not just saying defund the police a little bit. We're not saying give us just enough money. Ain't enough money, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Ain't enough money in the system. There's about $115 billion nationwide tied up in police, and that doesn't, I don't think, include sheriffs and shit like that.
Take their pensions!
$115 billion still isn't enough to give us what we need. We still need reparations.
That's right. Say that.
We gotta defund all oppressive systems.
Take their pensions!
There's another 100 billion tied up in prisons. We need to take that shit too. So we're not talking about defunding a little bit. I don't know what you said, but thank you. We're not talking about just defunding a little bit. We're talking about defunding to the point of abolition.
Take their pensions!
And then we will plant good seeds. We have to make sure that they don't take that money. We have to stay vigilant and stay on task and stay focused, because we have to make sure that they are not taking that money and putting it in new oppressive systems
Take
of
their
surveillance and incarceration and shit like that.
Take their pensions!
We don't want them to transfer the oppression and make it look prettier. We want systems that actually center the most vulnerable and care for the most vulnerable. And we can and we will build that world. Continue to reimagine. Continue to stay focused. Think about the baseline of the world that you want to see for the people that are most vulnerable in your life. That is the baseline that we're working for. Imagine that every day, Do an exercise, close your eyes, imagine those people that are most vulnerable in your life, the most intersectionally oppressed, those trans folks, those little black and brown kids, those who are, who identify differently, those who are differently able, those who are deaf. Think about those people and seek to liberate them. In your mind, what does that world look like where everyone is taken care of? Where those who have mental illness or deal with mental health struggles can still work any job. They have the support that they need, right? Think about that. Think about trans black women not being afraid of their lives. Being taken by people in their own community or others outside of them. That baseline that you imagine right there, the next day when you imagine better than that. Fight for that. The next day, imagine better than that. Fight for that. Keep your eye on the goal of liberation at all times. Do not forget that. And again, you ain't gotta like everybody in order to work toward that goal and to work to liberate them. So again, a reminder of the little closeout of why we're here. Say defund the police.
Defund the police.
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 Say defund the sheriff.
Defund the sheriff.
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 Say Jackie Lacey must go.
Jackie Lacey must go.
Jackie Lacey will go.
Jackie Lacey will go.
Say Jackie Lacey must go.
Jackie Lacey must go.
Say Jackie Lacey will go.
Jackie Lacey will go.
Killer cops ain't funny.
Killer cops ain't funny.
New DA for 2020.
New DA for 2020.
Killer cops ain't funny.
Killer cops ain't funny.
Bye Jackie 2020.
Bye Jackie 2020.
Yeah. Raise your fist and make it pump. Everybody say.
Fuck Donald Trump.
Say raise your fist and make it pump. Everybody say.
Fuck Donald Trump.
A little early. He said fuck him. So we gonna fuck all of them right quick, and then we gonna close out. Say, fuck Eric Garcetti.
Fuck Eric Garcetti.
Fuck Eric Garcetti.
Fuck Eric Garcetti.
Let's do this. For white people, here's a chance to raise your fist. Right? Raise your fist. Turn that thing around. Lift that middle finger up. Say, fuck Eric Garcetti.
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 Say, fuck Jackie Lacey.
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 Say, fuck the police.
Fuck the police.
Say, fuck the police.
Fuck the police.
Say, fuck the sheriff.
Fuck the sheriff.
Say, fuck the sheriff.
Fuck the sheriff.
Say, fuck the police.
Fuck the police.
Say, fuck the police.
Fuck the police.
Say, fuck the sheriff.
Fuck the sheriff.
Fuck the sheriff.
Fuck the sheriff.
All right, appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Keep y'all eyes on the prize. And just a suggestion before I leave, I know them guns look heavy, and them uniforms and them vests look real heavy. Y'all look a little pressed your damn self. But y'all know y'all using that for oppression. So all I'm gonna suggest, and let this sink into your spirit, instead of oppressing people with that heavy shit every day, maybe turn that shit in.
Go ahead.
Leave. Let us use that money for our communities. responsibility to expose the corruption in your motherfucking force. Either way, you coming for your job. Say you about to lose your job. 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 All right, I'm out. Give it up for Kendrick, yeah! So, like Kendrick said, we about to close.